Welcome to week 5, segment 1 of the Creative Freedom Guide to Overcoming Under-Earning. This may be our wrap-up week, but we've still got ground to cover. This week, we're recommitting to doing this work and staying the course, as well as helping our brains make it easier to stick with it. This segment is dedicated to helping you raise your threshold of belief. What is that? Well, it's your upper limit, in a manner of speaking. Think of it like a thermostat. You have a set point where things feel comfortable. When you stray too far from that set point, things get wonky. Too low and you start to panic. Fear sets in and you start scrambling to make things happen and bring yourself back to your comfortable set point. Too high and self-sabotage sets in. You get complacent. You stop doing what you need to do because you're okay. You've got what you need, and anything more than that would be, well, whatever story you're telling yourself. Most people can't just say, here's my new set point, and be done with it. Remember the 7 dynamics of change? You'll say one thing and then slowly chip away at your changes until you're back to your old comfort zone. It happened to me with my own rates. Early in my career, I decided to raise my rates to $500 an hour. I was the highest paid direct sales coach and trainer in the industry at the time. My reasoning was that if I was asking you to think of yourself as worth $500 an hour, I should be charging at least that much myself. And it worked for a while, but then I shifted my audience and fear gripped me. What if people wouldn't pay me that kind of money for this new direction? What if I ended up homeless and broke? So I cut my rates, in a manner of speaking. Instead of charging $500 an hour, I sold packages of time, $1,800 for 6 months. So I was getting more money up front, but I had cannibalized my hourly rate to $150. On the one hand, yay, more money up front. But eventually, resentment started creeping in, and I was grouchy every time I had to work with these clients. Had to. Did you hear that? I was so disgruntled about working for so little. I mean, the first month or two was fine. It was around month 3, when I was still working with them but not bringing in any more income, that I started to feel resentment. That's when I knew I couldn't go on like that. I finished up the contracts I had and I stopped doing business that way. Remember, your body is a smoke detector, and now also your thermostat. The smoke detector tells you when something is off from your thermostat. If you're comfortable and things are fine, your smoke alarm won't go off. But when things get wonky, again, too high or too low, your body starts acting up and giving you signs. I was recently watching Tim Grahl give a talk about his career trajectory. He started like many creative entrepreneurs, high hopes, lots of drive, but totally unfocused on the business side of things. He scrambled a lot and eventually got into a groove where at one point he had 5 books on the New York Times bestseller list all at the same time. He's a book launch promoter, so that's a huge deal. Most publicists can't tout that kind of a result. So here he was at the top of his game, so to speak, working with major industry players, and he was miserable. He said he felt nothing but dread. He put a lot of pressure on himself to get those results, and now his own book was about to launch. He amped that pressure and poured it all over himself. At a time when he should have been riding the wave of his awesomeness, he was freaking miserable. He'd hit the top of his thermostat, and his body was doing everything it could to bring him back down to his comfort zone. Thankfully, he adjusted his thermostat, got clear on what was really important to him, and he shifted course. But it wasn't as easy as it sounds. It takes work, and it takes consistency more than anything else. That's how a thermostat works. Remember, you set it at a comfortable level, and it automatically works to keep you at that level of comfort. So if millions of dollars feels uncomfortable for you, it's not going to happen. Or it'll happen, and then you'll burn through it faster than race day at the Indy 500. The easiest way to work this is to look for evidence to raise your threshold of belief. It's easy, and it takes time and effort to do it. But I'm going to show you right now a simple way to get clear on where your threshold of belief is now and how to start raising it. First, do you believe it's possible for you to make $3.65 a year? A penny a day. Do you think that's possible? You're probably laughing at me right now, and that's fine. Yeah, Lisa, I make more than that in an hour, duh. Okay, cool. How about $365 a year, $1 a day? Yeah, probably still pretty easy, right? Well, here's where it gets interesting. According to an article in BBC Magazine, between 20 and 40% of the world lives on about $1 a day. $1.25 is the global poverty line established by the World Bank. And how about this? About 80% of the world lives on less than $10 a day. That's $36.50 a year. Welcome to the 20%. Did you just have a mental shift? What? You're in the top 20% of all our global citizens? Wait, gets better. If you're earning more than $100 a day, about $36,500 a year, you're doing better than most of the men and women in Mississippi, where the median income for men is about $36,500 and only $25,000 for women. Links to all this research are in the script for this session, so you can find all of the data in there. Mississippi, here in the States, where you have to make $44,360 in order to afford a home. Yeah, do the math on that. All the data is there. You just have to find it. Collect the evidence. That's how we raise our threshold of belief. You set a goal and start looking to see if it's possible. Has it ever been done before? If not, has anything like it been done before? Start looking for evidence. Feed it to the file clerk in your head. That is how you raise your threshold of belief. So let's keep going here. Okay, we stopped at $100 a day, $36,500 a year. Let's up the ante again. Do you believe you can make $1,000 a day? $365,000 a year. This is typically where people start feeling the breakdown. Somewhere between $100 a day and $1,000 a day. But let's look for the evidence. If you have 3 clients at $400 an hour in a single day, boom, you just did more than $1,000 a day. If you're an artist and can charge $1,000 for a single piece of art and sell it, boom, you just had $1,000 day. So yes, it's possible, right? Maybe not every day, at least not at first, but it's possible to earn $1,000 a day. So how about $10,000 a day? Are you open to having $10,000 in a single day? Are you open to someone or a collection of someone's paying you $10,000 a day? $3.6 million a year? Whoa, that feels so different. $10,000 in a day versus 3.65 million. But that's where you start, right? You've got to have a 10K day before you can have a $3.6 million a year. Let's keep going. How about a 6-figure day? One of my clients is a florist. She had an $80,000 wedding. $80,000 is pretty close to a 6-figure day. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, check your smoke detector here. What are you feeling? What's coming up for you? Document what's happening here. Be aware. Pay attention. See, your brain doesn't know the difference between real and imaginary if you're really living out the experience. Studies show that an imagined experience can have a similar effect on the brain as a real one. Don't believe me? Let's try this. Close your eyes. Listen to my voice. We're going on a journey to your kitchen. In your mind, I want you to get up from where you are and make your way to your kitchen. On the counter, again, in your mind's eye, notice that there's a cutting knife and a bright, juicy lemon. You now cut the lemon, and the juice runs from the slice onto the countertop. Pick up the lemon, bring it to your mouth. Smell the fragrance, that citrusy ping of the lemon. Now take a bite. Let your teeth sink right into the pulp of the lemon and taste that strong acidic flavor of the juice filling your mouth. Okay, open your eyes. Did your throat get tight? Did your lips pucker? And yet there's no lemon, is there? No juice, no fruit. Heck, you're not even in the kitchen. That entire experience was in your mind, and your brain doesn't know the difference. That's why compiling this research is so important. That's why creating these experiences for yourself, even if you're borrowing them from someone else, is so helpful to breaking through the old stories and limitations. Now, if I didn't hit your threshold of belief, then yay for you, keep going. How does it feel to make 7 figures a day? Some gaming apps like Pokemon Go and Candy Crush Saga brought in $2 million a day in 2017. How about 8 figures? 9. Google did $110 billion in revenue last year, about $300 million a day. Now, you might not be a Google, that's okay. This isn't about breaking records and becoming the next Google. This is about finding where your thermostat is set. And if you're telling yourself you could never make Google money, then you probably never will. Now, there's a difference between thinking you'll never make that kind of money and deciding that you don't need that kind of money or don't need to work toward that kind of money. Would you be open to having $1 billion just land on your doorstep? Would you be willing to let someone give you $1 million? Ooh, what's coming up for you there? Check your threshold of belief in what's possible for you. Once you've done that, I want you to practice saying this sentence, but only if it's true for you. I'm open to new ways of thinking, feeling, and acting that will empower me to experience the abundance all around me that's meant for me. I'm open to new ways of thinking, feeling, and acting that will empower me to experience the abundance that's all around me that's meant for me. Practice it. If the words don't quite ring true, then tweak them until they do. This is about opening yourself up to new possibilities. Part of what it means to treat money with a different kind of respect. A respect we'll talk more about in our next segment.